Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of The True Breakthrough. Today I'm joined by Justin Bruce. If you have been in the real estate space and you haven't heard of it, his name, you have probably been under a rock. He's blown up, built some amazing partnerships, and today I'm really excited to hear his story, how he did it, and ultimately where he's going. So thank you so much, Justin.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Appreciate it. I remember the first time I was introduced to you, you were just being featured in the Real Producers magazine, kind of coming onto the scene in my eyes. Can you share a little bit about that journey? Just like as you were getting partnered with Columbus Crew, you seemingly came out of nowhere. What was that like for you? Like, what made you switch to go into real estate? And what like I want to see like what is that come up for you?
Sure. I fell into real estate by accident. COVID hit, and I hopped back into my wife's chiropractic office, helped her build that up, and then fell into real estate, like I said, by accident. And then I found the sports entertainment division for the brokerage I was with at the time, and I leveraged that. I realized that in order to be successful in anything, but definitely in real estate, you need to be different. You need to differentiate yourself. And all my research showed, mostly through Gary Vee, was video was going to be the thing. This was, 3.5, 4 years ago. And so I kind of leaned really hard into video. Gary Vee always says, you got to be the digital mayor of your city. And one of his speeches that really hit me hard was he said, anybody who's going to be successful in real estate over the next 10 years, you're going to be a media company, realtor. And not many really get that. Is most of my day is spent on being a media company, not actually a realtor.
Yeah.
And that's because of leverage, and we can get to that in a minute. But I've kind of built it on doing content, and we talked about this many times. It's consistency of content. It's not always about how good it is, and you've seen some of my early stuff, and even some of my recent stuff sucks. It's the content is not what it is. It's that you're showing up consistently in front of your audience.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I built, was a lot of content through consistency, and then I stumbled upon American Dream TV, which you and I have talked about as well, and leveraging that locally and nationally really skyrocketed and really quadrupled my production over 2 years.
That's awesome. I want to take it back a second, just who you are as a person, because I've noticed that you leverage not only good relationships for your business, you are not afraid to take on mentors. You are always looking for advice and learning. Like you just even mentioned Gary Vee. Were you always like this? Or was there a moment where you're like, okay, I'm doing things, I'm not figuring it out on my own. I need to ask who's already done it. Has it always been that way? Because I consistently notice you're always referencing, I learned this, I got this coach, connected with this person.
Yeah, it's systems and processes. And I think I learned, it's so funny, my wife's business, we wrote the business plan and we opened up, and I thought I knew systems and processes, and I was consulting for other businesses, barbecue restaurants, golf courses, and I never implemented those systems into her business. And it kind of just was very plateaued to start. And when I implemented it really started to take off. And that's when I realized that I wasn't putting myself in the room with people that were smarter than me. I thought I knew it all, And then I realized I never want to be the smartest person. I wasn't the smartest person in the room then even. I may have thought I was, but I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to keep surrounding myself with people that are grinding harder than me, that know things that I don't know. And so you got to be on both sides of that too. I also take on mentees. I feel like I need to give back. And so I'm always looking at those next ones come up. So I had 2 meetings today of people that reached out and said, hey, do you have a half hour for me? And spent time literally just pouring value into them, asking for nothing in return. And that is not me boasting or anything. That's just the way the world should be. And every time I've poured into relationships of give first, it's come back to me tenfold. And if you continue to do that, it just continues to pour in. So I'm always looking for ways to learn. Gary Vee, I positioned myself to know the CEO of ADTV. I hired Tyler Mount as my coach, who helped Ryan Serhant build his business. So those things, where you surround yourself in rooms with the right people, even top agents in Columbus. Sometimes in our industry, we want to eat our young. And I don't understand that. I want to bring that next generation up and have them where I'm at. I'm not at the top. I'm not at the pinnacle. I'm not some of the top teams in the city, but I'm definitely worked my way up to where I feel like I have a good grasp on what's going on here. And I want to teach that next group how to do that.
Yeah. I love how your approach to real estate is really contrary to what I'm used to seeing. It's almost accepted in real estate. Yeah, you gotta sacrifice family time. You gotta sacrifice being at your kid's soccer game. And right away, when I was kind of getting to know you a little bit, you always have very clear boundaries of like, this is what I do, this is what I don't do. And that hasn't interfered with your success. Why did you decide to have your life this way?
Someone told me a long time ago, I have 2 kids, 9 and my son's 9, my daughter turned 7 last Thursday. You get 18 years in a row with your kids and 1 year for the rest of their life. So you get 19 years total. That hit me hard because I'm like, "Man, they're 9 and 7 now. That means I've got 9 years left and 11 years left. And then what?" So this is the most important time of my life, and I'm not going to sacrifice missing games or gymnastic meets or whatever it is to build the business. You can do both, and that's what I've done. Is you just have to set clear boundaries. I get up in the morning and I do my things before they wake up. When I get home at 6 p.m., I'm not perfect at it, but I try to put the phone down and make sure we have clear time together. And so that's very important because you got to look at, why are you doing this? If I build a multi-million-dollar business but I miss all that stuff, where am I gonna be in 9 years looking back going, I wish I wouldn't have missed that game.
You can't buy it back.
You cannot buy it back, and it's the most important thing, and time with my wife and them, I do this stuff so that I can do that. I work so hard so we can take a week and go to Disney, or a week and do this. Again, it's none of this matters without that.
Yeah, it's incredible because unfortunately, a lot of people take it as like a you have to sacrifice those things. And I've seen people that have built huge businesses, $100 million businesses, and they have stayed true to their values. And I think that's the biggest success. Like financial success is the easy part. Having it all line up according to your values is the hard part. And I think more people should do it.
I agree, and it's become kind of an industry norm that if you're a realtor, you have to work nights and weekends. And that's when your clients want to see stuff. Well, I can tell you, I own multiple businesses. People will do business with you if they see the value, they will make time. My wife's chiropractic office is open from 7 to 4 or 6 to 1 or whatever it is. People are coming at 11 a.m., 1 p.m. for their appointments. Do you think those people just don't have jobs? No, they see the value, and I will leave my job for 20 minutes to go to this appointment. It's valuable. Same thing in real estate. People will make time if you're valuable enough. The other side of that, sometimes people can't make time. They have to be nights and weekends. Well, then you leverage. You create a team around you like I have, where I have showing agents and I have an assistant and I have a TC that I'm not on a Saturday at 2 p.m. I'm not showing a house 40 minutes from my house. Somebody will do that while I'm at the soccer game. I'll still be in the text message. I'll still be talking to the client. I'll still be handling it. I'm quarterback of that. But you have to have a team that can help you do that and leverage to not miss things.
That's incredible. And when you say like you have to have enough value to as an agent to be able to justify boundaries like that, what do you provide to your clients? Like what makes you so valuable that they would rather work with you, take time out of their middle of their day than to work with the agent that will take their call at 10 p.m. Not saying you wouldn't, that's not your norm.
No, that's a very valid question. I think the reason people work with me is they know that I'm gonna get the job done, and I have built that team around me to make sure they're taken care of at any time. I was in San Diego on Monday. I was gone. I had 3 clients I wanted to see things. None of them were upset that I couldn't show it to them. My people were there. They got all the answers. When I got back, I wrote the offers, everything. I was writing offers on the plane, and I don't mind doing that. Like, that's part of doing this, and I think that they work with me because 'cause they've seen the past results. Their friends, their family have told them what we get done, but you have to be in this every day to be uber successful, I'd say. You've got to be, I'm studying the market every day. Each neighborhood is different. What's happening in Bexley is not happening in Powell, which is not happening in Lancaster. You've got to know what's going on in each micro market, even down to the neighborhood, because it's very, very different. You have to know what's going on with interest rates. You have to know what's going on with politics sometimes, because that's influencing what's going on. So if you're not studying this every day and into it, you're probably doing a bit of a disservice to the client. So I'm in it every day, learning. First thing I do in the morning, check, see what Barry Habib has said today on MBS Highway. And I'm checking all those things and making sure I am in the know for my clients, because they can't be expected to do that.
Yeah, and I think another thing that goes without saying, most people don't realize this, but if an agent or any business owner is able to structure their team in a way that allows them to be kind of set apart a little bit, that probably means they're actually more valuable. They're better at what they do than the agent that, or not even just agent, business owner that has to be present in every little part of it. It means that maybe things are not as organized as they should be.
Could be sometimes. I know there's a lot of good solo agents out there that can handle everything themselves. Some of them are friends of mine, and that's great. I want to build a business where I can manage everything, and also that gives me opportunity to help others, other agents that may not have the vision that I have of wanting to be the CEO and run it. They may just want to do, however many sales a year and be able to do the things they want to do. Everybody has a different set of values, a different goals, different financial goals, and I want to help unlock that for those other agents as well.
That's awesome. And I love your like business approach to it. And as you were starting, you were quickly, I think it was right away, basically looking into partnership with Columbus Crew. Can you share a little bit about how in the world you became the go-to realtor of Columbus Crew and now the Clippers? Like how does that happen? And where did you even get the idea to do that?
Yeah, so really it was I fell into this sports entertainment division. It was for Keller Williams, who I was with at the time, and it was a group of 1,200 agents networking on how to work with athletes and entertainers. And I just surrounded myself with people that were already doing it. And so I was figuring out how can I do that. The way that I got in with the crew is very interesting. I knew a play-by-play announcer who introduced me to a guy, and I was kind of behind the scenes doing a little bit of stuff. But then ADTV came along, and when I made my announcement that I was going to be a host for the American Dream TV, the CEO of Lower.com reached out and wanted to have lunch. We talked, and it turned out that his best friend was the GM of the crew. While we were at lunch, he texted and said, "Hey, I've got this guy here. He'd love to film an episode with you." Boom, boom. Within a month, we were filming the episode. And during that episode, we chatted. One thing led to another, became an official partner for them, and have been now. This will be my third year as the proud real estate partner of the crew. And I'll be honest with you, this is being recorded. I probably shouldn't say this. I wasn't even a huge soccer fan before. My wife played soccer in college, and I went to one game at Lower.com, and I was hooked. Just the atmosphere and everything that was going on. And now I'm blessed that I've helped so many players find houses that they become friends with my family. My son thinks that being in the locker room is normal, and hanging out with Cucho and Christian, like they're best friends. Now these guys leave, and they come to our kids' birthday parties. We go to their kids' birthday parties. It's become kind of a family atmosphere. And so it's the fun of the sports. There is the other side to that, but also the access has just been tremendous. And being able to for me, I got into it because I wanted to protect the guys. A lot of these high level athletes get taken advantage of. You see the stuff in the news. Just yesterday, they were talking about the guys who robbed Joe Burrow's house and all these NFL athletes. These guys need to be protected. We don't need selfies in front of their house. We don't need anybody putting their addresses out there. Oh, I just closed with so-and-so. It needs to be a certain level that we handle these
Yeah.
people.
That's I actually have two questions that are kind of lining up with that, but you specifically mentioned because of ADTV, like the leverage of just having a conversation video started the opportunity there. And a lot of people look at videos like, oh, I'm going to post a video. I'm not going to get a lot of views. That's not a good video. But you look at not just ADTV, but just video as a completely different approach. What relationships can it help you build? That's how you got into the crew. Can you share how your process works to get those relationships, like how the way you use video to be able to build your
It's
business?
a great question. I just had this conversation at lunch. I had a buddy of mine had a video that he did went viral, as they say. Everybody wants to go viral. 3 million views, whatever. But how many houses do you sell off of a 3 million view viral video?
Probably zero.
Probably zero is the answer. And I told him, I said, I would rather have 200, 300, 500 loyal fans that see every one of my videos, that when the words real estate come out of anybody's mouth, I'm the first thing they say. And so that's the whole point of my videos. I'm trying to create videos that keep people engaged. But most of all, this is where we go wrong. We're trying to do videos to get business. I'm trying to do videos to bring value. Can my video bring value to your life somehow? I promise you, if I do that, the real estate will come. It will come down the road. So to touch on ADTV, it's not as much the episode that I film and that I'm the host of an Emmy-nominated TV show. It's the leverage. It's in my email signature. Emmy-nominated Telly Award-winning TV host. The Columbus Crew episode, it won 2 Telly Awards. For the rest of my life, I'm a Telly Award-winning TV host. And so when I'm out at networking events, which is all the time, I never introduce myself as a realtor. Never once. Hey, this is Justin. Oh yeah, hey, I host a TV show about Columbus. I'd love to, chat, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what do? You have a charity. You own this company. That'd be great for an episode. We should have coffee. I've never bring up that I'm a realtor. Now I'm in the door. I build all these relationships through leverage. Down the road, they're going to find out I'm a realtor.
You never tell them, they find out on their own.
Never once do I bring up that I'm a realtor, unless they point blank ask me that I'm a realtor. Then I'll tell them. Other than that, I don't bring it up, because intrinsically, if I bring enough value to you, human beings just want to give it back. It's just the way it is. Most human beings. So it's worked for me a million times. One of the episodes I told you about where I did a distillery, it took 18 months, but it came around. It always comes around.
18 months. I love that because there's been so many times I've met people, so even in real estate, and we end up working together 2 years down the line. 3 years down the line. Some of them we're still in the process 4 years in, but that's just the way it is. And I wanted you to share a little bit about, so in sales, especially as a realtor, you get paid on commission. It's so easy to get in the mindset of, I need to close the deal today. I need to get my commission check tomorrow. And every person you talk to is like a potential commission check. But what you just described, not even mentioning that you're a realtor, is on the other opposite side of that spectrum. How do you approach building relationships so that you actually are genuine? You're not just saying, "Hey, I'm in here not to say I'm a realtor, but I'm really just trying to squeeze it in somehow." Like, how do you approach it that way? How do you have that confidence? And like, what's your approach? That you just be friendly with people, or is there more strategic approach behind it?
Bringing value. It's not, I say all the time, it's not easy, but it's simple. It's very simple. If you just approach every conversation with value, that's what you're talking about, a scarcity mindset. That's what it is. It's just scarcity of where's my next dollar coming from. And when you start thinking that way, you've already lost. And that's why I've been so blessed to be successful in this business is I don't think that way. I've trained my brain that I never ask for business in that manner. Every relationship I approach with, how could I bring value to you? Same thing when I walked in here today. First thing I said to you, what can I do to bring you more business? I didn't say, hey man, can you sponsor this for me? Can we do this together? Can I? No, it's how can I help you? And it always comes back around. And then once you get that mentality ingrained in your head, I don't even think about it anymore. It's just become a part of who I am.
Hmm. So, what about when you come into the door? You have a big opportunity. Let's say that Columbus Crew GM. What's your approach to building that connection? Because you're meeting so many different types of people. Everyone's in their own life stage. How do you actually make yourself stand out? Yes, you mentioned you're an award-winning TV host, but that doesn't always work, and you weren't always there to begin with. Like, how do you focus on building a connection? How do you quote unquote provide value?
Yeah, you got to be a chameleon. So you kind of, I will match my personality, my tone. I'm reading all of these things. So if I am speaking at an event and I come off stage and somebody comes and talks to me, oh my gosh, it was nice to meet you. Can we? I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, thank you for coming. It's going to be, I'm going to match their tone. I'm going to, oh, thank you so much for, I know it's hard to come talk up to speakers sometimes. Thanks for coming over. It's very nice to meet you. You've got to match who you're talking to. So if I'm talking to a professional hockey player that I want to sell their condo, that is a different conversation than a single mom that is buying their first house. And so figuring out what each person needs, what makes them tick, and I'm knowing that ahead of time. If I'm going into a big deal, I'm figuring out ahead of time all my research, what makes them tick, what is going to set me apart. And one of those professional athletes, I was pitching for a listing against 3 other agents that had way more luxury sales than me that have been in the business much longer than me.
Hmm.
And I walked in and he said to me, first thing, hey, all these people have this. You don't have this. Why should I pick you? And I sat down and I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to outwork them and then I'm going to put you on national TV. And he looked me dead in the face and goes, where do I sign? That's the difference, is being able to figure out what they need ahead of time, provide that value, just being you too. I don't try to be anybody I'm not. You're not going to see me show up in a 3-piece suit and not be me. I'm going to be authentically me because people can see through all the BS.
Yeah.
I think the people that are most successful in this business are authentically them all the time.
Hmm. How do you make sure that you're staying authentic? I know you do, whether it's a $300,000 house or a $3 million condo, and we even together worked on Miranova, which was a really popular listing overlooking downtown. You had a McLaren there. When you're talking to these high level athletes, not just talking, but helping them sell their home, how is it like interacting with them, and how do you stand? You said you stand out by just finding out what they need, but like they're different and they expect to be treated different, and you want to stay true to yourself. How do you make that work?
It's a balance. It's absolutely a balance. And it's not just athletes, there's all different people from different lifestyles. And so you got to figure out, like I said, what makes them tick. And then it is balancing their needs with staying true to you. And I've walked away from 5-figure commissions because of the way people would treat me or treat my team. And the money is just not worth it, I can tell you. So I'm at a point in my career now where I choose who I want to work with. In the beginning, I get it. New agents, a deal comes along, you're going to take it. Even if the person is demeaning you and like, you got to make the paycheck, right? But as you build that up, and it doesn't take a long time to build that up. Once you've built up that solid foundation of people that are your raving fans, you can choose who you work with. And I've had people call me and say, "Hey, I'd love you to sell my house. I have one right now. It is a 7-figure listing, and I won't take it because I know what it would be like to work that listing. It's not worth the money. It's not worth my peace. It's not worth my time." And so you get to that point where you learn what is my value, what am I worth, and what is it worth to my time.
Mhm. You mentioned, like, it's not worth my peace, like, they're not gonna disturb your peace. A lot of things in business, especially when you're in this industry, it's so run and gun a lot of times. And especially when it comes to, like, having a peaceful family time, like, it's so important to have a strong family unit. I know that's important to you. What are boundaries that you've set aside from, like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at home at 6," to make sure that business doesn't overstep and kind of start disturbing your family? Because that's really there's no point if you don't have that peace.
You're right. It's a big deal, and it's why that I've built my team the way I have. I had a licensed assistant for a while, then I brought in a TC who is now my assistant as well to make sure that I could set those boundaries. And for me, my non-negotiables are sports for my kids and dates with my wife. And we have certain parameters that we set in place where me and my wife are gonna go on a date a certain amount of times a week, a month. We're gonna go on a trip this many times, and I do not miss games unless it is absolutely necessary. Now there's exceptions to every rules. The CEO of a company had me fly out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I had to be gone for 3 days. That was a big deal, so I went. That's something, and my kids and my wife understand that. But on a typical week, I'm not going to miss very almost never going to miss practices. I'm definitely not going to miss games. I'm not going to miss gymnastics stuff. And you just have to be convicted by that
Mhm.
and say, this is it. This is where the hard line is, and stay consistent to that.
What gave you such a strong conviction in that? Because it's not typical nowadays, it seems like it's not like every person on the street you find is like, "This is my strong
Mhm.
conviction." Were you always that way? Did you learn it from someone?
It's a tough answer to give, but tragedy. And some people experience tragedy in a different way, but I lost someone very close to me, and that was when my life shifted. That day, everything changed, and I started to think about tomorrow's not promised to us, and that changed everything for me. And then I got married and realized, man, this person's way better of a human than I am. I want to do everything I can for this person. Then I had my first child, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could never love anything more than I love this child. And then I had my daughter, and I was like, if somebody breaks in, I will use my son as a human shield to protect her. Like, it's a whole different level
Yeah.
once you have a daughter. And so it's hard to explain that. My shift was the tragedy, but now it's an appreciation and it's faith. My faith is very important to me, and God has given me way more than I believe I deserve. People get mad when I say that, but I
Than
have,
you deserve.
I
Dave
say it,
Ramsey says it all the time.
yeah, and I'm not a huge Dave fan, but that's right. Like, I have more than I ever thought I would or need. And so I feel that it's my duty to not only give back financially, but give back my time and what I have learned, because through that tragedy, I've learned things that sometimes you can't learn without that. And so I feel like it's my duty to do it.
Mhm. That's incredible. It's really inspiring because, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's so relatively easy to find success financially, but to have a successful family, and be successful in other areas, it's really inspiring. And I sometimes look at, like, your wife's doing the chiropractic office, you're in all these networking events, you're selling real estate. I'm like, how is he doing it? Like, is there two of him? Have I not met the second version of him? But I mean, every person I talked with, it's always that having those, some people call it rocks, those non-negotiables that, Netflix CEO said, like, every Tuesday night date with his wife. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world, that's happening. Um, I'm really excited to see that. Now, kind of switching up a little bit, you recently had a huge shift in your career. I mean, so many things have changed. You were in one brokerage, now you're in a different brokerage, you have a new team. What's going on and what is your vision? Like, what's going to happen for Just in the next couple of years?
That's a loaded question. Um,
Because I don't even know all the
yeah,
details.
I don't think Justin knows all the details. Yeah, I mean, I have raving things to say about Keller Williams and everything that I've done with them and everything I was a part of before. Um, it puts such a great base to what I'm building. I did switch brokerages and much more tech-based, entrepreneur forward brokerage right now, and I feel like that's me. I'm trying to lead the way in video and tech. And do I know all the things? Am I the best? Absolutely not. I will never tell you that I am. But this gives me an opportunity as an entrepreneur to build a business within a business, which is what I love to do. And so this gives me the opportunity to have autonomy on how I want to build my business. And if in a video I want to say a bad word because I want to say a bad word, I can say that and have you bleep it out. But I can also help the young agents and build the way I want to build with a financial platform that allows me to do that. So I made the switch on Saturday to real brokerage, and I can tell you that the reason I made that switch, I was very blessed to be put in rooms with many CEOs of brokerages around the country. And I sometimes have to pinch myself over the last 30 days, the Zooms I was on and the calls. But I was on a call with Sharon, the CEO of
Mhm.
Real. He was the only person of all the CEOs and heads of luxury and heads of sports entertainment I met with, the only one that said to me, "Hey, you called me. I'm not recruiting you." He said, "If you go somewhere else, I'll support you. I like you. You have my cell phone number. You have my email. I will help you grow your business. Find the place that's right for you that feels like home, that feels like family." I got off that call and I was like,
Man.
this is the guy that and I've watched him on Instagram and I've followed him speaking across the country, and he just gets it. I don't know how to put it into words. I've had this conversation 10 times in the last week. Sharon just gets it and he wants everybody else to win, and he knows his will come with that. Kind of like my local mentality. He's got it on a much more global scale. And so I got off that call and I was like, that's the guy I wanna hitch my wagon to and build this empire with. And so I think very shortly we'll see here locally, my new team, the Elite Collective, will grow very quickly. And then nationally, I have so many relationships that I could see my referral partners. I don't care what brokerage you're with. If you're a good agent, you're a good agent. And so I have many friends that are agents with Sotheby's and Compass and Keller Williams and Coldwell Banker. That's who I'm sending my business to. And so I want to build that network up even greater so that when the athletes are leaving here or people are moving in for intel, that we have those relationships real strong and ready to go.
The end-to-end service. What about overall, like, yes, you switched brokerage, new team. For Justin specifically, like, what's your vision? What are you building towards?
I just want to help people. Like, I don't know what the end goal is. The goal is for me to be the CEO of this team that can help a bunch of people. I don't need to be opening doors much longer. Not to say that I won't. I'm not above that. But I want to teach this next group of agents coming up that we don't need to eat our young, that there is a place here to help people. That's what this business is all about. Like, I fell in love with real estate because of my first closing table. I fell into real estate on accident, but I went to that first residential closing table and saw somebody's life change and was like, I wish I'd got in this 20 years ago. I'd
Mhm.
probably be retired by now if I had. But I want to build something bigger than me. And I think, as you know, media is the biggest, baddest, fastest, easiest way to get there. So there will be some big things coming in the media side of what I'm doing. I can't really talk about them yet, but there's stuff coming that I think will really impact Columbus and bring value.
That's awesome, and on that note, you mentioned making this bigger than yourself, and one thing I've noticed, unfortunately, and we've actually been working with agents to help them avoid this, is when you start coming to the point where you're no longer gonna be doing this, a lot of times the team, the company, which is that real estate team, ends with them because it was all about them. And it's not to say that that's a wrong thing, but that's a challenge that everyone faces. And what are you gonna do to make sure that at the end of this all, like, it lives on, so to speak, without you and actually is able to propel beyond what you were?
It's a great question. So there's a reason why my team is called the Elite Collective and not the Justin Bruce Group. I wasn't planning on starting a team this month, but it happened. And so I spent many hours coming up with the team name, checking trademarks, checking social media, buying domain names. There's so much that goes into that. But again, the reason it's not the Justin Bruce Group is it's really hard to walk away from the Justin Bruce Group, right? Like, that is centered around me. I want to center my team around an ideal of what the service for a real estate transaction is, so that if Justin Bruce comes out of the transaction, they still feel comfortable with the service. And so that is a transition, I believe. And I had this conversation with Glenda Baker out of Atlanta last week when she came up to speak at the Rebel event, is when she gets a referral, it comes in, She makes the first contact, then puts it in a group text with whoever the agent is the best fit for them. And that's kind of what I do here is figure out what agent. And then her and I both, we stay in the group text. So we are connected throughout the entire transaction and we're present at any time that we can be. The next step from there is to transition that to where you make the introduction and then you're still there, but you're just not speaking in the transaction. Then it's to the point where the team name has grown so big that Justin doesn't really matter anymore.
Kind of like Ryan Serhant,
How many people do you think actually see houses with Ryan Serhant?
like 1%.
Very, very few. But he has built a brand and a team that people trust the Serhant brand versus Ryan Serhant. And that's a big distinction and difference there.
That's incredible. And I think that more people should think this way because it ultimately will provide better service to the client. It'll make their life better. It'll provide more opportunities for the team that is involved to actually grow together. And I mean, just overall, it makes things so much better. And I'm excited for what you actually end up building.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you having me. I mean, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to build. And I just want to continue to grow and build this and help people. And anything we can do for you, you let us know.
Thank you. And I had one last question is, you've gone, I mean, through so much already and there's so much ahead of you. But if you were to look back, you said, oh, I wish I got into real estate 20 years ago. But if you were to look back when you were, let's say, just starting out your career, early 20s, what would be your single biggest piece of advice you would give that would um, get you to where you are here faster?
Fail faster. Just do the thing that you're scared to do today. Go out and do it and fail forward. I'm not sitting here that I did X amount of business last year and I've never failed. I have failed more times than I can count, and that's why I'm sitting here. That's the difference between somebody who's successful and somebody that failed. Somebody successful is somebody that failed that didn't give up. That's the only difference. Everybody's continued to fail. So those young kids I talk to them all the time. So first of all, you guys enjoy this time because as you get older, it doesn't get more fun than it is right now. I was at a high school basketball game last night and I told the seniors, I was like, go back out on that court and just enjoy it for a minute. You don't get this back. And so enjoy that time, fail forward and know all the other stuff can wait. Life's going to be there. Go do the things, travel, take the time, love hard, do all of those things and just continue to take the chances that you don't think you should take and fail and fail and fail because I promise you the fun is on the other side of that.
I couldn't have said it any better. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Justin. And if you have any questions or want to connect with Justin, his information is below with his team. If you're looking to buy or sell in Columbus, if you want to learn, possibly mentor on how to become a successful real estate agent, there's so much you can learn from Justin. Follow him on Instagram. If you have any questions about building your brand through video, we're here to help you. We can answer any question you have. Thank you once again, Justin.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.